Hey time travelers, I hope your week is off to a good start. We have just reached 88 miles an hour and another episode of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean is coming right at you. Welcome back to Brickscale Studio. My name is Jeff, and as always, I am so excited to have you with me today as we embark on another episode of Build the Back to the Future DeLorean. So today's episode, we have 4 issues, so sort of a normal episode. Remember last week we only did 3 issues, and then next week we're going to be doing 5 issues. But that's because today's episode we will end, at least for now, work on the chassis and the passenger area. We're going to end up finally doing something with all the wires, both the decorative and the functional wiring that we've been putting in up until now. We're actually going to do something with it. And then we're going to attach the passenger area with the driver and passenger seats and everything to the chassis of the car. And then we're going to put that aside, and we are going to work on the frame of the vehicle with the windshield and the hood. And so I wanted to split the episodes up that way, so we sort of made a clean break at the end of this episode, and then we start next episode, rather than finishing up the passenger, we just start right with the frame. So anyway, enough talking, let's get into the build, and then we'll have a chit-chat after. Okay, so just a quick recap from where we left off. Last episode, we put in the door sill and these wires, this silver pipe, and then we put in this bulkhead with some additional decorative pieces here. And so today we are going to start working on, we also attached this plate and put this piece of adhesive tape here. And that's what we're going to be working on today. We're going to be working on the circuit board that's going to sit over this, in this area where all of these wires are going to plug into. So let's get into that. We won't need this at for the beginning of the episode. So I'm just going to set it aside. So this is issue 56. And so we have the circuit board and we have a bunch of wires. And that is what we're going to be doing, is attaching wires to the circuit board. And then we are going to be attaching the circuit board to the bulkhead that we put on in the last episode. So there we have that. So these are the parts with the circuit board. So let's get into this. All right, so here are the parts. So first of all, we have these wires. I'm going to get all these out, and they are all numbered. So we should have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these short wires. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then 1 long wire. Yes. All right, and then here is our circuit board. So I want to be very careful with that. Okay, so what we're going to be doing is we are going to be attaching these wires to the circuit board. And so let's see here. So the first one we want is number 1. And the thing that you want to remember is, so these have a number, they have a tag up here that says number 1, and then there's also a number 1 on this plug, and then there is a number 1 on the circuit board. So you want to make sure that this number 1 on the plug faces the number on the circuit board. So since this number 1 is here and the number 1 is here, we want to put this in just like so. And I am going to bring this a little closer. So that is number 1. And now we, of course, want number 2. So here is number 2. Same thing. So you just want to make sure that the numbers face the number on the circuit board. Rather than make you watch me plug each one of these in one by one, I decided to do a time lapse. Just make sure the number on the plug faces the number on the circuit board. Okay, so there are all of those wires. So now we are going to bring over the car again. And again, this is going to go right here. And it's going to go just like so. So that is also going to be secured in with FP screws. All right, perfect. Okay, so we have those in there. Now we want to find lead 5, which is right here. Make sure the numbers are, matching the right way. So that was number 5. Now we want to take number 18, and we want to put that over on this side. So there's 18. Okay, and now we want 17. And that one is going to go right here. Oh. And now we want 14, which should be this one, yes. And that one is going to go right here on the end. All right, so the only one that we have left is this big ribbon cable. And I'm assuming it's going over here, but it does not instruct us to plug this in yet. So I am not plugging it in. All right, so that is it for issue number 56. So let's move this aside and we'll get into issue 57. And here we have the bulkhead upper. And then we've got like a light board, some brackets, a panel, some other things to do here. So that's going to be all decorative stuff that's going on this upper bulkhead. So let's get into, let me show you the magazine. And then here we have parts for next time. All right, so here are the parts for issue 57. All right, so we have this bulkhead upper. We have 2 brackets. We have a light board. We have a panel. We have sockets. And then we have a pipe and 2 wires. And we have this other panel here. First thing we're going to do is take the bulkhead, the upper bulkhead, sorry. And we are going to take these 2 brackets, and they're going to go here and here, like so. And those are going to be secured with AP screws. There's 2. Okay, then we're going to take the light panel. There is a locating lug here on this side. So that's going to go in like that, and we're going in with GP screws on this one. There's 2. Okay, perfect. Now we have this little gold panel here, and we are going to take this, and then we have these 2 wires. One is going in on this side. So I'm guessing these are just going to be pressed to fit. It does not say to glue them, so. Alright, those feel pretty secure. Okay. So now this is going right there. And again, those are going in with AP screws. Alright, so we have those in. Alright, next is this panel. This is going right here. There's a little lug there that locates that. And again, we're going in with AP screws. And there's the other side. All right, then we're taking this little piece, and it is sitting on top. So that's going to sit on there just like that. And it is going to go in with, of course, an AP screw. All right, just like so. Now we have these little brackets. So they are different. So this one has 2 holes at the top and then 2 holes this way. This one has 1 hole, 2 hole, 1 hole. We want this one first with the hole at the top and the bottom and then the 2 holes in the middle. That is going to go right here. And that's again with an AP screw. All right. And then this one is going with the 2 holes at the top. And it's going right here. And again, that is an AP screw. AP screw. Okay. So that is where we should be at the end of issue 57. And here is issue 58. So it looks like we get the flux capacitor, the case, some pipes, a little tab, a little wire, of course. So here we go here. And then more bulkhead details in the next issue. So let's take a look at the parts here. Here are the parts for issue 58. All right, so we have a case back, a case front. We have the flux capacitor. We have a cable, and then we have all of these little pieces in here. Get those out. So we've got a gold pipe, we've got 2 silver, a black one, another silver, and then we have a little tab. So the first thing we want to do is take the case back, and we want to make sure that these little notches are facing up. And then we take our flux capacitor and we set that inside, and we are going to use AP screws to secure that in. Now there is a mod. I did not purchase this mod, but there is a mod for this that changes the lighting of the flux capacitor and also this element here. So if you are interested in that, go to Mike Lane or just search for flux capacitor mod. I'm sure that will get you there. But it does involve some additional wiring and additional circuit board. So just be aware of that there is a mod available. All right, so we got that in, and then now we are going to put the front panel on, and there is writing on this. Yeah, so we want the writing to face there, and then we're going to put that in with AP screws again. All right. We're going to bring back our bulkhead. So now we got that in there. And now we want to take this part. This seems very tricky. Like, I don't know why they want us to put this on here before we screw this in. Alright, I kind of see why they want us to do this. However, the holes here are not big enough to accept these parts. Alright, so we got them. We had to make the holes a little bigger, but we got it. And now we're going to attach that with BP screws. Yeah, that was wild because the holes in the top of the flux capacitor box were nowhere near the size of the pegs on the bottoms of those parts. So just had to enlarge that opening a little bit. Okay, so we got that on there. So next is, so there's two little silver parts. One has ridges on it and the other one is smooth. The one we want is the smooth one. And that's going right in there with an AP screw. All right, so there is that one. So we got that in. And then, of course, the other silver one, and it has a little notch at the bottom that will fit into. So is this going in with AP? Yes. Okay, so there we got that one in. And now this gold one is going to go in right here on the side. And that's also going in with an AP screw. Okay, so there we have that. All right, so now we want to flip this over and we have our light here. All right, so we want to put the light in this center hole here. And the way that I've seen other folks do it is once you get that in, you can kind of bend the wire down so it lays flat. But you want to be careful, like don't be crazy with it. That will hold that in place. And that is it for issue 58. And here is issue 59. So we have some more detailing here. It looks like a couple more light bulbs, a bracket, some cables. And then we're going to be attaching the upper bulkhead to the regular bulkhead. All right, and then in the next episode, we will start working on the frame. So that's why we're doing this sort of off with the issues. We're doing 3 in the previous episode, our normal 4 in this episode, and then we're doing 5 in the next episode because that involves the frame. This episode, we will leave all of this wiring and everything, and we'll start working on the frame. So let's get into issue 59. Here are the parts. All right, so we have a pipe, a fan, a cable, another cable, a twin cable with lights on the end, a bracket, and then we have in this little bag we have 2 little purple brackets and then a tab for wiring. So let's get into this. All right, so we're going to take this pipe. It's flexible in the middle. So we're going to take and we're going to put it behind the part that we put on at the end of the last issue. And then the top part is just going to go right in here. Be careful, don't push on that too much. But yeah, that is a tight fit. You will not need any glue in there. So that is that piece attached. So now we want the longer cable, and we are going to thread on these little brackets. Okay, so there's one. Yeah, let me grab the other one here. Okay, and here's the other one. So these are going to go down these two holes here. Now these don't fit in there all that securely. And now we're taking the short black cable and we're putting it on this little nipple on top of here. And then this is going to go on here like so. This wants to go down. This is going in with AP. Alright, now we're going to take the end of this cable and we're going to put it on the end of this, like so. And then we are taking the end of this one and we're... Yeah, I thought that was going to happen. And we're putting it on the end of there. Okay, so we are going to put some glue on there because otherwise there is no way those are going to stay in place. Alright, and now we want to take our lights in here. Alright, so I just glued this one in. Let's bring back this, and we want this little hose to attach onto this nipple right there. Okay, so let's get this first one on here and then we'll hope for the best. Alright, so we got that started. So this one's a little easier because we don't have the carpet to worry about. Okay, and before I tighten that too tight, I want to make sure that we get this pipe into this hole here, because that's also going to be, there we go, secured with an FP screw. So let me get that in as well. Okay, so that is in. Yep. Yep. Okay, let's turn this over. Now we want to take this little piece and pop it right in there. Okay, so we got that in there. So now we want to take wire 16, get that on there, and then we want 15. Okay, now they want us to connect this ribbon cable, and there are letters F and R and F and R. Okay, so we got that in. Alright, so now what we're going to be doing is we're going to be connecting a lot of these plugs into these little brackets that we put on. So I'm going to start on this side over here. And I will show you this when I am finished. And these fit in here fairly snugly, so you shouldn't need to glue them. Okay, so now that we have that secure, we can kind of tuck these under here finally. Okay, we're going to go into this bracket. I know the angle is weird and it is impossible for you to see, so here's a picture of the finished product with all of the wires anchored into the bracket. Alright, so we need the frame, or the chassis. Alright, so we want 19 and 22. So here's 19 and 22. So let's bring this over. Okay, there's 19. Where was 22? Okay. And 23. Okay. Okay, number 6. So we're just going to continue connecting all the wires, making sure that the numbers on the plugs are facing the same way as the numbers on the circuit board. And then we're going to get the passenger area ready to attach to the chassis. And we want to make sure all of these plugs with the white cables are coming out the side. Okay, so we're going to attempt this with DM screws. Okay. We got one side in. Yeah, it makes it kind of crazy with that carpeting. So yeah, you want to make sure that you're not pinching any of those wires down there. Yeah, we are good. Okay. So now we want to take this bracket, and that's going to go in to help keep the steering wheel, or the steering column. Yeah, okay. And those are going in with what, BM screws? And that is it for issue 59. Okay. And that's going to be it for this section. For a few episodes, we're going to be moving on to the frame, the body frame. But let's get on to the Lego portion. All right, here we are back with the Lego portion. And remember, we mostly focused on this area here in the rear. So let's get on with steps 200 to 213. That is the end of the Lego build. So we added some pieces up here, and we finally, remember on the Partwork DeLorean, way back in episode 1, we did the taillights. Well, now we have the taillights for the Lego DeLorean. All right, so that is the Lego DeLorean. Let me bring over the Partwork, and oh my gosh. So we can hardly even get them all in the same shot here. So in the Partwork, we finished this whole bulkhead section. We put and we attached the interior of the car to the frame. And then for the Lego, we worked mainly on this rear area with the taillights and the back bumper area here. So that is it for this episode. So for the next episode, we will be putting this aside and we'll be working on the frame, the body frame. So we will not be seeing this in the next episode. Well, I don't know about you, but I am exhausted after that episode. That was a lot. Although very satisfying actually doing something with the wiring that we've been working on for so long, especially that decorative wiring that was such a hassle at times. So very cool to get that all connected, get the circuit board hooked up, and then get that passenger compartment attached to the chassis. So very cool with that. Since this episode ended up being a little longer than I had originally anticipated, let's just get right into our summary. So for today's episode, in the Partwork build, we completed 87 steps. Wow. Used 39 parts, And for the Lego version, we did 44 steps and used 110 parts. And so far to date, for the Partwork build, we've completed 596 steps and used 425 parts. And for the Lego build, we have completed 419 steps and used 980 parts. So yeah, a lot of steps today for the Partwork build. But again, satisfying to get all that wiring sort of hooked up and out of the way. And remember to like, subscribe, and share. Until we see each other again, happy building, take care, be kind to each other, and I will see you very soon.